up, guys? Welcome back. I am Spartacus, and today we're not going to do Dreamcasting. It's my first video where we're not Dreamcasting, but we are going to do Survivor predictions. Survivor 42 is right around the corner, and by right around the corner, I mean it is tomorrow night. So I wanted to get this video in. I didn't have much time to do it, but I'm really excited about it. This video works throughout the entire season except for one that I'm going to talk about. But it's really just my predictions for a couple spots for the first boot, the merge boot, the winners, the runners-up, stuff like that. And the premiere starts tomorrow night. I'm super excited for it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope my predictions are right. Obviously, some of them are not going to be right. Maybe all of them are wrong. Maybe all of them are right. I don't know. But if you've already seen Survivor 42 and you're watching this in the future, this video is pretty redundant. But if you are watching it right now, currently, then this video would be great. Or if you are watching it in the future and just want to make fun of me, that would be fun too. Okay, to start off, we've got the first boot, and obviously this could change if there is a medevac or, this person here might not even be going to tribal council. But I do think that it is Lydia Meredith, and she just seems very young. I don't know if she seems like a great strategist, really. Obviously, we know very little about all of these people. I'm going off of very little, but I don't think that she will make it past the first tribal council that her tribe goes to. Now, obviously, if her tribe wins immunity, then she will not be the first boot, but I do think she would be the first one at her tribe. I don't know if she would be great at the social aspect, which the entire pre-merge is 100% social and very little strategy. So I don't know how great she would be at that. Plus, in one of the interviews, she was talking about how she's not very great athletically, and pre-merge, you also have to be very great athletically, otherwise you're going to be voted out. So I do think that she will be the first boot. So my merge boot, I think it will be Daniel Strunk. And again, we know very little about this person, but he seems like a very analytical player. And usually it's the analytical players, the people that are always thinking about the numbers, that get the merge boot. And or like the votes leading up to the merge boot or right after. But usually it's a very analytical person. He was talking about how he made this whole, I don't even know what to call it, like a theory, statistics or something, from Survivor David versus Goliath when they got rid of one of the players, and he just did like a whole analytical whatever. I'm not smart enough to know what that is, but he is definitely somebody looking at the numbers, and that is great in the game, but he seems very outspoken about it. And I don't know how he would do socially either, so he is a merge boot for me. Plus, I don't know how great he would be at the individual challenges, so I don't know. He's a merge boot on my list. So the challenge beast, I think it is. This one's pretty obvious. I have Jonathan Young, and he talked about how he has like a world record for something to do with pull-ups with some type of weight on his back. But he fits the archetype of like an Ozzy, a Malcolm, Culpepper, you name it. I think that he's going to be great at Survivor. I do. And I do think he's going to be a fan favorite. And so I think that he is definitely going to be a challenge beast. He's very strong in his interviews. He really only talks about his strength. And so I definitely think that's going to get him to the merge because their tribe's going to want to win, especially now that they're not getting rice and they're not getting fire when they lose. So I do have him as a challenge beast, and I do think that he is going to do a great job in the game and be a fan favorite. The next archetype I have is the strategist, and obviously it's Survivor. Everybody's going to be strategizing, maybe except for Lydia Meredith, but everybody is going to be strategizing because it is Survivor. So this was a very hard one to do, but I think based off of the archetype that we see from him and what we see in the interviews, I do think it's going to be Hai. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try. I don't want to offend anyone, but he does seem like a great strategist. I think he's going to do very well. He looks very young, so he's probably going to do great at the challenges. I think he's going to do well socially, making alliances with people. Uh, in this picture of him, he looks friendly, I guess. But I do think he's going to be great at strategy, much like a Shan or a Ricard. So I did have him as the strategist on my list. So next, for my social player, I did have Tori Meehan, and this was another pretty easy one, like Jonathan Young, because in her interview, she talks about how she's a therapist and how she's going to use the things she learned from being a therapist to her advantage, and also how she's not going to let anybody know that she's a therapist. But in her interview, she really focused on the alliance aspect of it. And so I do think that being social is going to be her biggest strength, and I do think she's going to be the best social player out there. So I do have her as my social player. So for my final three, this is really the two runner-ups because I'm not going to put the winner in here just yet. But the first one I think is going to be Omar Zaher, I think is how you say his last name. Sorry if I offended anyone. But I do think that he is going to be one of the two runner-ups. He seems like a very good strategist, a very good social player. He's an exotic animal veterinarian, and he talks about how he's going to incorporate that because you never know what you're going to get. Plus, I saw a website of him talking about how being a veterinarian helped him in his real world, and I do think that part of it is going to help because I mean, it's exotic animals. You're gonna come in with a bunch of crazy people that own those animals, and you're gonna have to calm them down. So I do think that he will be a runner-up. I think that he's gonna be very good at the game. Um, so he did make my runner-up. My next one is Hai, and I know I just had him as my strategist, but I do think he is going to be a runner-up because I think that he is going to be aligned with my winner. And I know I have no way of knowing that they're going to be aligned, but it just seems like these two are going to be aligned. Like I don't know how to explain it. It just seems like they've got like the same archetype, and it's going to be like a Shannon Ricard. So I don't know. I think that they're going to be aligned, and like I said, he is going to be a very good player. At least that's what I think. So I'm excited to see how he does. But these are my two finalists. And I did have good players on here because, I mean, in older seasons, we see that people try to drag the GOATs to the end so that, and I'm not talking about greatest of all time GOAT. I'm talking about, like, nobody wants to vote for them, so people take them to the end. So I don't think that that's going to happen in this season because we saw in Survivor 41 that didn't happen. So I do think that good players are going to go to the end. So now the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner. I think it is going to be, like I said, aligned with Hai. And I think that this person's going to be great all around on the social game and the strategy game and at the challenges. So I do have Chanel Howell. And I actually made a bet with my dad that she's going to win. So if she doesn't win, I owe my dad $20, but that's fine. But like I said, I think she's going to be great at all of the aspects of the game. She's played online versions of Survivor. I didn't even know that online Survivor games existed. But she said that during her quarantine, she watched all of the seasons, something like that, over again. I think she is a great student of the game, much like a Xander or an Erica. And so I do think she will be able to go to the end. Plus, I do think that the jury will be looking for a woman to win because they have not seen Survivor 41 yet, where Erica did win. And these seasons were filmed back to back, so they didn't see anything from that. And so I do think that they're going to want a woman to win because a woman hasn't won for a while until Erica did. And so I do think Chanel has a better chance of winning than the other two that I mentioned because of that, and because she seems like a great strategist that's not going to make anybody super mad. So there you have it. There's all my predictions for Survivor 42. I hope you liked the video, and if you're watching this 10 years from now and I'm wrong about everything, then feel free to make fun of me. I would make fun of me too. So Thanks for watching. See you later.